I mean, according to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación, ¿verdad? Está fea la situación, pero pues de todos modos tenemos que comer.
What's your message to Donald Trump, if he's watching this?
Mis respetos, él tiene que según él buscar lo mejor para...
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy! City boy! This ain't a movie, y'all. This ain't a damn movie, man. So I saw on CNN's channel, it was titled, "The Sinaloa Cartel Told Us What They Think of President Trump." And I was not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that. If you didn't see that from the beginning, I will play it back here shortly. But essentially, she goes in, I don't even know who this is exactly. I think he's one of the big time leaders out there. And I just thought it was wild that the first thing he said, respect. You know, a lot of things happen in this news cycle, and, you know, narratives are pushed a certain way. Now, we'll get into the depth of what he's saying here. He's not saying, yeah, go Trump, right? Like, that's not, you know, like what certain things that Trump implements makes things harder, and that's what he's talking about here. However, that's just crazy. I just, you know, it's interesting because I think as an American, and an American who's on social media, and I see what the landscape looks like. It's like this 50-50 split. There's 50%, well, not 50, but you know what I'm saying? Like a split. And in the split, there's a amount of people who absolutely hate Donald Trump. There's a little in the middle who are just like, kind of like, whatever. I don't really like him, but they're like, whatever. And then there's a big amount that love Donald Trump, right? But the people who absolutely despise and hate Donald Trump make a lot of noise, especially on the internet. And I just think it's unique because I don't ever hear people in America, except for pro-Trumpers, you know, say stuff like, the dude said respect. According to him, he's looking out for his people. And he's kind of like, why wouldn't he? That's what we would do. It's just interesting seeing the flip side of the coin in some areas. Now, again, I'm not here to argue. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in politics that are crazy, y'all. So don't think, like, I can criticize Trump. I can criticize things that I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole Epstein stuff is wild. The fact that, you know, a lot of that stuff hasn't been released or not even properly. The JFK stuff. It's just kind of interesting how things play out. But, again, we're here to check this out. I just thought that was a wild topic. I don't know if we want to bring it back to the beginning. I kind of skimmed through this, but I thought this part was really, actually, let's bring it back to the beginning. I'm checking this out on CNN. If you guys want to show love to my channel, you can like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, there'll be a link in the description to some of my other channels, because I do have a popular music reaction channel. And let's just see where this goes. I'm not going to, it says graphic images. I'll try to dodge some of that stuff for the algo, but let's see where this goes.
Right now we're just racing through town following this group of volunteer paramedics on that motorbike.
Ya no aguanto con este brazo yo, güey.
Si te lo quito te vas a sangrar. El muchacho tiene una hemorragia y pues es considerablemente mortal. Aquí, deténgame.
This area is...
I've never seen EMTs on a motorcycle in my life. This is wild. They really out here putting in work. They just got a bag and they making it happen. That's crazy.
very heavily populated by cartel members. And right now this guy is losing a lot of blood, so it's a bit of a race against time.
Esto es riesgoso para nosotros porque la ambulancia ya tardó mucho y nosotros nos estamos exponiendo aquí.
Violence erupts almost every night here in Sinaloa, Mexico, the heartland of one of the most powerful criminal gangs in the world.
All right, this is crazy. I ain't even gonna say what y'all are seeing, but y'all are seeing what I'm seeing, and hopefully YouTube don't hate, because it needs to be seen at some capacity, because you know, it's real.
The Sinaloa Cartel. Once led by the notorious drug lord El Chapo.
If for some reason this glitches just to this part right here, it's because, let's just say there were some bodies, if you know what I mean, and I had to edit it out. I don't know how YouTube's going to take this, but you guys get it. Like, y'all understand what goes on in Mexico. There's some gangster stuff going on in America, but there's really gangster stuff going on in Mexico.
Chapo, this cartel is responsible for selling huge quantities of drugs to U.S. consumers.
The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
President Donald Trump is pressuring Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum to crack down on the cartels, threatening tariffs and even military strikes. In response, hundreds of soldiers have already been added to the troops here in Sinaloa. We've come here to understand what that looks like. From hidden drug labs and defiant cartel members
Está fea la situación.
to grieving families and soldiers on the front line.
I just want to remind people, this is our neighbor. This is literally our neighbor. It's just so crazy that you cross a line and this is what you get. You cross a line over here and you're just like, and America is not all peaches and cream. But I'm just telling you guys, like, I'm an international traveler. When you travel, yes, there's amazing places, Japan, you know what I'm saying? But bro, when you start going to some of the hot spots, and there's beautiful places in Mexico, but I'm not knocking Mexico. I mean, a lot of people go out there to vacation because it's freaking gorgeous. There's a lot of great things going on in Mexico. But also, man, it's just so crazy. You could make a wrong turn just like in a city, and it's just like, but I would say it's amplified in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like at this crazy level with the violence and stuff of that. Ugh.
We're with the Mexican military right now, flying over the state of Sinaloa, over this massive expanse of rural land, looking for any signs of cartel activity.
They just got machine guns on the chopper, bro.
This is more cannabis than I've ever seen in my life. The scale of drugs here is just enormous. I mean, this is a whole field of marijuana here.
Who cares?
These guys are going to be camped up here for the...
I don't get this. This is the shit I don't get, because Mary Jane will say is going legal in America. So who cares? Like, it's just not that big of a deal. It's some of the harder substances that are issue. That's, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm out the loop with that. Oh, yeah, they're going to burn it up, too. Yeah, look at that. I mean, they about to...
marijuana.
They about to pay you.
But it's synthetic drugs that are responsible for most of the 87,000 Americans who've died of overdoses in the space of a year.
See, that's what I was talking about.
These drugs, like fentanyl and meth, can be produced in much bigger quantities, generate enormous profits, and are easier to hide.
Los criminales construyen estas áreas de trabajo en lugares lo más...
All right, I want you guys to go, if you want to see this in-depth interview on CNN's channel, go peep it. I want to go to this interview she has with this dude. I think she kind of prefaces it here, because I haven't seen the full interview. I just saw that one part that I played, and I was like, man, I want to see this. This is kind of wild.
An area of the city that is still very dangerous. After weeks of trying, our contact here on the ground has managed to secure a meeting with a member of the cartel who's involved apparently in the production of drugs. And so we're meeting him now in somewhere around here in an undisclosed location. ¿Cómo estás?
This man is talking to us on the condition we hide his identity and location.
Can I pull up a chair?
He says he produces fentanyl for the Sinaloa Cartel.
How safe or dangerous is this area to be in?
En estos momentos todas las áreas son peligrosas.
Everywhere's dangerous. It's crazy he's wearing a Joker hat. Joker, like when you really go back, what was it? Was it The Dark Knight Rises? What was the... damn, I can't even think of that. The one Joker who was just the best. He passed away. Heath Ledger, that Joker. That is crazy. If that's like your hero.
The Mexican military are making a big effort to crack down on the drug production here. How are you responding to that, and how does that impact your work?
Están haciendo
They're doing a
un
good
buen
job.
trabajo, pero pues como
There are more
ellos
of them
vienen
now,
más,
so
uno
we have
tiene
to
que
find
buscar
a
la
way
forma de hacer, de
to
seguir
keep doing
trabajando.
this,
Claro,
to
en-
keep working, of course, a
en baja
smaller
escala,
scale,
¿entiendes? Pero
not the same as before.
no igual como antes, pero
But
se
it
sigue
continues.
haciendo.
I mean, according to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación.
Well, the
¿no?
situation is
Está fea la
ugly,
situación, pero pues de
but
todos
we
modos
have
tenemos
to
que
eat.
comer.
What's your message to Donald Trump, if he's watching this?
Mis respetos, él tiene
My respect.
que según él
According to
buscar lo
him,
mejor para
he's looking out for his
los
people.
suyos. Pero el detalle que ya
But
están
the
los
problem is the
consumidores,
consumers are
Si
in
no
the
hubiera
United
consumidores,
States. If there weren't any
uno le
consumers,
paraba.
we would stop.
There is a lot of violence playing out on these streets here at the moment, every day, right? I mean, people are dying on a daily basis. Children are afraid to go to school. Do you have any sense of remorse over your role and your involvement in this group?
Claro que sí,
Of course.
claro que sí, claro que
Of
sí.
course.
Pues está,
Things are sad, but he's insinuating he has to do this stuff. That's what's interesting.
está triste la cosa, pero pues está triste la cosa, pero está temblando mucho esta madre.
His phone is pinging. Someone is nearby. He tells us we need to leave for our own safety. It's because of the actions of cartel members like these that civilians too are caught up in this violence. Vivian Aspuro, the missing woman from the poster, was one of them. Her body has just been found.
You know, I just did a reaction. It's on this channel. I don't know whenever you see this if it has been released or hasn't, but it was this deep conversation. I forget the brother's podcast, but it was with El Calderon, and he was saying there's things going on in Mexico that we're not even aware of in America. One of them is I'm trying to say it in a way I can dodge YouTube nonsense, but women are being eliminated. Yeah, you heard me right. They're being eliminated after being abused. And also there's these problematic things they were saying as some of the cartel leaders are, let's just say, interested in children. And there's all these little nuances, and they go into little towns or cities and they, pick things they want. And for some reason with the women, there has been this uptick of eliminating them. Not after the abuse happens, let them be, but actually eliminating them. And he's like, there's this uptick in it, and it's really like, I was like, what is he talking about? This is scary stuff. Again, this is a man who's raising daughters in America, and this is our bordering country. So you just think, like, what's going on there, and why? Why is this happening? It's a war zone. I mean, look at these people. They lost their beautiful daughter. She was beautiful in that picture. That's just... Anyways, I don't know how she got taken out, but that is something you should look into if you're into finding out more about this stuff, because there's just a lot going on out there. Anyways, I'm going to leave this here. This stuff is dark, but we cover everything over here. These are definitely trending topics. This is definitely real life stuff. And I think it's really sad. I'd never, let me tell you the surprises of watching this. The dude from the Sinaloa Cartel said respect to Donald Trump. He's looking out for his people. He showed remorse. He's like, it's sad. He didn't say he's doing what he has to do, but that's what he implied with what he said. He's like, it is sad. He actually showed remorse, which is kind of unique to be in that position. I thought that was wild. The other wild thing he said was the biggest customer is the United States. If we weren't buying what they were supplying, they would quit. I don't know if that's true. then again, there's always a buyer for stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm going to tap out, get on out of here. You guys let me know what you think, and I will holler.
City boy! City boy!